Hi. Not sure how long this video is going to be, but today I wanted to come on here and chat with you guys about Maslow's hierarchy of pyramid or hierarchy, something like that. I'll type it down below. The reason is because not a lot of people are informed about things you should be prioritizing in your life. Obviously we all live in a society where capitalism exists and we all need jobs and we all need to make a living some way, and we need basic needs. Like, obviously if you live in an apartment or in a house, you need a home, you need water, you need gas, you need light, because everything is electronic now. So but like, your basic needs to survive are basically water, oxygen, a roof, obviously a home, varies. But not many people know of like other things that you should also be prioritizing in life, like having a social life. This doesn't mean you have to be social all the time. It just means having community, having family, or creating your own family, whether it's with friends, with I guess people you've been with for a long time. You could consider them family. It doesn't have to be blood related, or people you grew up with. It could be any kind of family as long as you have some kind of social group as support, I guess. Basically a community. That's another thing you really need to get figured out in life. Another thing would be like an individualized, like your perception of yourself, kind of like your self-esteem, where you meet yourself, what do you love doing, like your hobbies, and like having a better sense of your own self. And there's this last part of the pyramid that I was reading into, and not a lot of people get to that part of the pyramid, and not a lot of people like understand that it's the most important part in order to basically win this game of life. And that part is self-actualization. I don't know if I said the actualization part correctly, but it's the the last section of the pyramid that basically entails about your emotional, internal, like outer conscious, like every single consciousness that exists, which is your pre-conscious, your unconscious self, and your conscious self. And not many people work on themselves, which ends up in a lot of people being confused about their life, or having life crisis, or existential crisis, whatever you guys call it, or you guys see it as. A lot of people end up in that hole because they were never, I guess, they never got this outline of like things you should prioritize in life. And for the longest, I personally have struggled with, I guess, coming to terms about the things I should be looking out in life for. Like, I always try to look for them and stuff, but like it's never, like, I never got a clear answer from anyone. So I'm so glad I finally was informed about this, and that all along I always question, like, okay, what's the purpose of everyone's lives? If anything, people have goals, people have dreams of doing certain things, and people achieve them. And each person does it their own way. They go about certain things on their own. However, what comes after? Once you achieve your goal or your dream, what comes after? And that part is the self-actualization part of the pyramid, which dwells with you consciously and subconsciously, and I don't know all the technical terms of it, but you kind of bring yourself to this point where you isolate, not, you don't have to isolate yourself physically, but you kind of become very I guess you say kind of like you kind of isolate your person, your being, from all of the things that you have or you have achieved, right? And you don't diminish those things. You kind of think about all of those things you've been able to create on your own. You know, everything, all the effort you put on certain things, all of the time, all of the endless nights. You know, for example, say you're a student or you're a worker, you know, in the workforce, and you have been taking so many years to have this amount of money or this like stability in your life, and you finally achieve it, right? You finally get the stability, and you have that sense of relief in like inward. You feel like a relief of like, wow, I achieved this. I could finally rest. I could finally like not worry so much as I used to, or whatever it may be, right? And once you get to that point, you sort of start looking inward and you start feeling all these things, because everyone feels everything. There's not a single emotion that anyone's prone to not feel. So I think it's easy for people to kind of have life crisis or existential crisis, because what comes after everything? And that has to do with like inner peace and finding peace with yourself, and you know, filling your life with so much love and care and beauty. And a lot of people don't make it to that. You know, some people just get stuck in this routine after they achieve their goal, and they stay in this routine, this endless routine of like, oh, I gotta keep doing this because I have to be able to have a hold for this, ignoring all of these other things. And you know, I kind of like to refer to this as like becoming just a vessel, like living in this society. And it's kind of sad because I've seen it in a lot of people that I grew up around, and they became adults obviously because I was a child, and I slowly noticed how their light, their inner like adrenaline and like drive to gain more or like achieve more in life, and not just the mundane things like, oh, you just need to get a house, you just need to have kids, you know, by this age I have to have kids, I have to have a house, I have to have a car. Obviously those are important, right? But like, I feel like people tend to focus too much on those things because that's all everyone talks about. Like, oh yeah, you gotta have a house by this age, or you gotta have kids if you're a woman. You gotta have kids before you're like in your 30s, because then it's gonna be too late. I don't think that's all there is to life, and I'm sure a lot of people already know that. That's not everything. I feel like you should constantly remind yourself, if you find yourself in a deep shithole or like existential crisis, even if it's whatever you're doing is difficult, do not worry. You know, things will get a lot better, and there's so much more you can do in life, even if you already achieved what you wanted in life. I think it's good to just keep unlocking more like secret like side quests, to continue having that drive, that ambition in your like in your soul, in your spirit, to do more, grow more, learn more, honestly, because you know, a lot of people look down on people that love learning or being educated in things, although it's not a bad thing. We shouldn't be ashamed for that, because there's so much to really look in this life for, and there's so much stuff that not a lot of us know about, and everyone is just looking for answers for things or explanations for things, and there's nothing wrong with that. Therefore, we should have that inner ambition, which is, the self-actualization. It leads to you looking more deeper within yourself, finding more peace within yourself, because then you figure out, like, okay, I got this done, I can do this, and once I'm over with this, I can feel this and this and this, and then I could go look for all of these other things. And that's such a beautiful thing, because then that light in you, that drive, doesn't die out too soon. And the reason I'm talking about this, guys, it's not just personally me, it's just I've seen so many loved ones that forget the reason of life, It's gonna be it hits a little too close to home, because I saw my grandmother, she rests in peace. I didn't know her I wasn't close to her that much, but I did realize something, because I think around like my teenage years, there's a lot of death around me and surrounding me, and I had to go to a lot of funerals, and it was a bit awkward for me because I did not know many of these people. They're all like extended relatives, like extended family, and it was awkward. I felt out of place because what is going on? Therefore, when I saw like everything my grandmother went through, and not seeing it, I did not see it, but I just heard that over the phone, not over the phone, but I was told over the phone that her last like couple of days, she was just giving up on everything. Even though I didn't know her that long, even though I did not, she had so much like inner ambition and like drive to just do what she can for her family, for her husband. And just seeing like the light just like leave from a person, like that will to live, or like that motivation to do stuff dying out, or like just hearing about it, it felt like that's not my grandmother. Who would, like, what's going on here? Therefore, please remind yourself that all of these mundane things that we need to get done in life, that's not it. There's still more. There's so much more that there is that we can all achieve. Sorry if my voice is shaky. I'm just like, it's low-key kind of hot in here. It's really hot in here. I don't know why. I might have a fever or something, but yeah. Please remind yourself and people around you and little children as well. Please don't kill their dreams. Please do not. Guys, I need to pick up a dictionary or something. You know what? I'm just going right now because I am having a difficult time thinking of the words to really convey what I'm trying to say. So, motivate people to do more and be supportive. Be part of a community, be part of your family, be part of your friends' lives, connect with them and remind them that we all gotta do more. We gotta do more. Even if we're tired, it's gonna pay off in the end, guys. It's literally gonna pay off. And with that being said, this will be my 11th video, and I hope you guys are having a really good beginning of the year, and I hope to see you guys, or like, not see you guys, no seeing anybody. I hope to be able to make more of these videos for you guys. If you guys want to talk about anything or want me to talk about anything specific, let me know. I'll try my best to get to that as soon as possible, probably tomorrow night. I'm not sure. But that being said, have a good night, and